Hello, audience. Kronos here with Texas Smash, and welcome to Around the Academia. Panelists will be graded upon the quality of their answers as we cover the biggest questions from all corners of the My Hero universe. By the end of every Around the Academia video, a panelist will be crowned champion. If you haven't done so already, please make this the video that you subscribe to Texas Smash. Even gaining a single subscriber helps to support the channel and make videos like this happen. Help Texas Smash reach the 100 subscriber mark. Stick around to the end of the video to see which panelist wins the first episode of Around the Academia. Let's nerd out together. We're gonna start with best guess as to All Might's expression at the end of chapter 325. And we'll lead off with Danny. What do you think, Danny?
I think it is one of those things where All Might is like, he's ashamed to go towards Deku. He's like, he don't know what to do because after he left him, he's just like, well, I have not really been the best mentor to him. I haven't really give him any kind of advice on All for One. He's probably just walking away from UA and thinking, I can't face Deku. I can't face Inko. I promised Inko that I was going to protect Deku and I was going to like keep him safe, and he didn't. He just let Deku just do whatever he wanted. Didn't protect him. Didn't really give him any kind of advice. And if you remember what he said in the chapter when Deku walked away from him, he turned around and said, I should be telling you to rest. I should be telling you to, I think the other thing was to relax a bit. But he just turned around and said, kid eye, and just let him go away. If he just had said those words to Deku, it'd have been a different situation. So I think it's just down to All Might being really ashamed of himself rather than just of what's happened.
Okay. What do you think, Locaine?
That's a really good perspective, Danny. I like that. For me, I would say with him walking away and his eyes being so black and dark and empty, that's how he feels right now. He's just empty, hollow, pretty much. He's a shell of what he used to be. And he just unfortunately has to walk away because what can he really do? I don't think he can really help Deku anymore. You know, Deku has surpassed him, so All Might's just a shadow of what he used to be, and so he's definitely just like empty and sad.
Okay. Let's see, Rolly, you guys want to weigh in on that one?
I'll let Rolly go first.
I had a different interpretation.
What you got?
I felt that he looked determined. It was mostly just from the lines that led up to his panel. When Aizawa says it's time for revenge, then I'm supposing that's the principal talking, saying, yeah, of course. And then you just see him walking off, dark eyes, as Loken has said, and it just seems like he's just about to go do something. Not sure what that is, but that's how I personally interpreted it.
Rose, you don't need to, but if you got something to add on, you can.
I can't think of anything else to add on to all that.
That's fine. We'll flip the script. We'll let you lead off with the next question. Will Shirakumo be, keyword here, fully restored?
I think so, but also I think not. I don't think he'll be restored as in like he'll like have his proper body back and everything or whatever. But I feel like he'll be restored as in maybe the form of Kurogiri will change into Shirakumo. Like, because it showed in the episode when Shirakumo appeared, it showed that his actual skin colour and hair colour could show through the mist. So maybe the mist will go away and Shirakumo will come back. I hope that happens. But if not, then that's fine too, I guess. But
You're a hard maybe.
yeah.
Okay. We'll go backwards now. Rolly, what you got on that one?
I do think that he will come back. And my point is mostly through, I look at the wording that they always use. Though feeble and faint, a path is still there. Whatever, those type of situations come up in this manga, it always goes to positive. saw that with Eri. We saw that with Lillian. And so, do I believe so based on just that? Yeah. Now, if me liking it is completely different.
Right, different question. So you cut out a little bit there, but you got your point across before it started cutting out. So
I may switch to my phone. I'm on my laptop.
We wait for Locan. It would be your turn now. Do you think Shirakumo will be fully restored?
I mean, I like that caveat that he fully restored. I don't know. I don't think so. I honestly would like him to be, but I don't think he will be.
All right. Any reason or just a hunch?
Just more of like the body, to me has been done. Like it's gone. He's completely changed into a whole new being as far as physically. So to bring that back would be extreme to me. I think he will. He's gonna always be in the body or the form that he is now, but his mind will come back. So
yeah, nobody's really. Shirakumo did die, so I mean that is important. Danny, closing comments or anything to add that hasn't been said already?
It's not the fact of if he's going to be brought back or not. It's like he's in the central hospital now. They're trying to revert him back, and we know that the body is in there because the actual face came back, like for a slight moment when Aizawa and Mike had that moment with him. So I think the body's still semi-alive. It's just that will they able to bring the body out and be like, oh yeah, we can bring the body out. We just need to really examine him really quickly once he comes out and save the body, because we don't really know if the body, we don't know where the body was injured. We don't know if it was the head, the heart, or any kind of the important parts of the body. If we knew that, we probably could determine if Shirakumo would come back. But we saw like the blood part. We just saw blood on the rocks when Aizawa was saved. Well, not saved, but Aizawa saw the body and he was just like, he was traumatized. But if we knew where it were injured, we probably could have killed him. We could determine where it'll be like on if he was resurrected or not.
Last question I definitely want everybody to weigh in on. How do you feel about Bakugo's apology to Deku? Do you like it, or do you feel like it betrayed Bakugo's character? Let's start with Rose, since she was chuckling. What you got, Rose?
I quite like the apology. I don't think it ruined his character at all, because he's still the same Bakugo, because he even told Deku that he doesn't expect things to change between them even after that little speech. But I think Bakugo just said it to get it off his chest, maybe to give himself some relief. So that, because usually if you confess something, it usually makes you feel better, and then you can move forward. So I think that was just Bakugo's way of getting that out of the way, and then he can carry on his path to wanting to become the strongest. That's how I saw it anyway. I don't know about anyone else.
So Rose liked it. How about you, Locan?
I liked it too. I honestly did. I do feel like, Bakugo has pushed everything down, been bottling it up. He's had this face of like angry and jealous and everything, but there's been like little parts where you're like, he does take up for Deku and like has tried to bend there, and even if it's in a violent way, he still tries to like push Deku. And again, kind of like Vegeta or whatnot, but with Bakugo, he really is finally, I feel like, at a point to where he recognizes that, all right, Deku doesn't need angry Bakugo right now. Like, he really does. I need to show him my heart and like actually, give him some like, encouraging words and everything, and finally apologize. And I think he did that just to shake Deku out of that state and be like, damn, even Bakugo's like acting different. Like, this is crazy. So I honestly like it. I liked it.
Now, do you think that's only present day Bakugo? Season 1 Bakugo was tough love? Okay. All right.
Right. Yeah. No. Like, and and Bakugo's been developing. We've seen that he started working with his classmates. Like he's become more like willing to work with a team and everything. So he has softened up. Now, has he ever said anything like this, all gushy and lovey-dovey? Like, no. But I think in this moment and where they're at, it did call for that. Like, it didn't call for him being the old Bakugo. But
so you know that scene when Endeavor actually is nice to the kid that's the big Endeavor fan, and the Endeavor fan is like kind of upset, like, no, this isn't your style. I feel like that's how the Bakugo fan base acted after this chapter.
Yeah, and I can see that. And I also don't think that Bakugo isn't gonna, this isn't gonna be the new Bakugo.
What you got, Denny?
I think it's just more like, oh yeah, I know what I've done wrong. And if you remember in the Endeavour Agency arc, he said, what I cannot do. And what he could not do in the past is admitted he was wrong. And he admitted he was wrong. For the first time ever, he admitted to Deku he was wrong. And like, we all knew Deku were having it hard with Bakugo. And it's about time Bakugo's apologised. But, I mean, Bakugo apologising, some people think it betrays his character, some people think it don't. I agree with betraying his character because we all know him as this tough guy, like going, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, like kind of guy. But with what he's done with Deku in the past, he's realised Deku is going to be the strongest hero at some point. He's got to realise in himself he should never have turned around and said, take a swan dive off that building. And I bet that's been playing in his head once Deku started becoming stronger. He's like, I told this kid to take a swan dive off a building. But
okay,
that's my opinion.
Rolly, what you got?
I don't think it portrayed his character at all. We even saw whenever they first met up with him, trying to get him to come back, he was that abrasive, aggressive, Bakugo that we all know. But he did realize that, it's a little saying, there's a time and a place for everything. Once he realized that the aggressiveness wasn't going to work, he switched up because that's what Deku needed at that moment. And we've been seeing, his character development from the beginning to where that's all he would be, to, showing nuances in his character. Not everybody is black and white. He has an aggressive side, but he also has, that side of him that can come out when it's called for and when it's needed. And at that moment, that's what Deku needed.
Hmm.
So do you personally like it?
Yes, I loved it.
Okay. There's no wrong answer there. I was just curious. All right, Rose, first cut. Any parting words before you leave us?
No.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you later,
Bye.
Rose. Thanks for playing.
Yep, it's been fun. Bye-bye.
All right. So then there were 3 into the buy or sell round. Toga infiltrates UA. Buy or sell? We'll start off with Danny.
Sell.
Sell? Why?
Because I just don't think she's gonna infiltrate UA. I think it's just too top notch at the moment. There's they've already said, we know the timing of a quirk, like how long she can last. It's like, if they know that, they know what Toga's gonna do, because they already had Hawks inside the villains, so he knows what Toga can do and not. Because I think Toga's done it in front of him once or twice. So he'll know. He'll give the information to you away. And plus, you got to remember that Aizawa and Deku have both seen Toga's abilities in the provisional license exam and inside the overhaul arc. So they've got information from that, and plus Hawks might have extra information. So I'd go with there's more information from Free Hero. And that's all I can really put across.
Danny's selling. Locan, what you got?
I honestly am gonna buy it just because I like that idea. I had a theory that Toga was all at the school. So honestly, even with that stuff, I don't know when they exactly put all the school in lockdown mode. Was that every parent that got in there, or she possibly could already be in there? I don't know. Either way, I think that they're bringing up stuff too, even if she's not in there. Like, it's weird that they're bringing all that up, and so I just feel like that's a prelude to things.
Okay. Fair point. What you got, Rolly?
I hate to say this. I do buy it, but I hate it.
Okay.
I buy it because we don't know what the full extent of her quirk upgrade was. I think that they're all basing it off of old information. And if her quirk also upgraded to the time that she can hold on to the person that she's taken on, then they wouldn't have caught it. And it is, and I do agree with Locan, it is suspicious that they did actually bring up the fact that they are actively trying to keep her out. But I think she's going to end up getting in.
Yeah, that's one of the things that troubles me the most with that whole situation is how would we know her maximum? Like you brought up the point where her quirk has awakened since we've taken notes on her last. To say we know her maximum, I think that might be a bold statement to say that.
Yep.
Okay, moving right along. My Villain Academia anime adaptation. Buy or sell? Let's start with Danny.
I would go buy.
Okay.
For the simple reason is, I've looked at the manga recently of what's happened. Everything's there. It's just maybe there's a slight few things that's been removed, like the teddy bear, snap neck thing, which Videstro does. The first part where the League of Villains go in and kill that tribe. But everything else, it seems to be a T. Maybe slight animation error, but I would say everything's gone perfectly well. Like the Makia battle, the Toga awakening, and even the Twice awakening, I felt that were well done. They were brilliantly done. I watched that yesterday, and it was just so well done, the Twice stuff. And I think next week, the Tenko Shimura backstory looks like it's going to be it's going to be like completely perfect. Is that one? I won't say it's unfortunate that it's not a midnight anime, because like if it were a midnight anime, there'd be a lot more blood, a lot more gore, which is unfortunate. But since it's a 15 rated anime, I think it's done well so far.
Yeah, I mean, we got the end of season 3. Remember when All Might fought All for One? I mean, they didn't spare any blood in that scene. All right, Danny's buying. What you got, really?
So for me, it was the things that they cut out that I find annoying. Like, I don't mind the shifting of, actions, like how they moved, the whole thing with Endeavor, in correlation to the whole villains battle thing. I don't mind that, but whenever you start cutting out important parts is where I start to have a problem. I am hoping that they probably just moved it and we just haven't seen it yet. But, the parts where they go more into what's going on with One for All, that wasn't in there where it was in the manga. And it does get annoying after a certain point of seeing animes butchered and, chopped apart from the source material. That's just my point. So
Okay.
I wasn't that big of a fan.
All right, Loken, break the tie. Buy or sell?
Well, funny enough, neither. I'm not up to date, so.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know.
Stay as a tie.
That is a killer, unfortunately.
Ouch.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, next question then. Eri will meet Overhaul again. Buy or sell? Let's start with Rolly this time.
Bye. It makes
Okay.
sense from a literary standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, that she will run into him again and be able to, fully stand on her own, of course, with support. But yeah, I do definitely think she's going to run into him again. There's no way that they won't end this series without that happening. That's a part of her trauma, part of her past that, she will need to confront.
Loken, jump in on this one.
Definitely bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it has to happen. That the meeting of them two is definitely, even with him just wanting to meet his master, like, no, that's not what he deserves. He needs to answer for what he did to her, and I would be really disappointed if that doesn't come to fruition.
Okay. And Danny, close us out.
I also agree with Bai because he has to, like Loken says, he has to actually answer for what he did to Eri. But at the same time, without Eri, he's nothing because Eri could probably rewind his arms and give him the ability to use his arms again. But at the same time, Deku needs to be in the 100% state that it were in before the war, like before he went into vigilante mode, to actually take Overhaul to the boss and maybe take him to Eri and be like, listen, you need to say sorry to her, but he needs to answer for what he did to Eri because, in my opinion, what he did to Eri, I'd rather him just have been dead. Like chapters ago, episodes ago, he should have been dead.
All right, so we're at the end of buy or sell round, and Loken, looks like you're the lowest one, man.
Oh, damn.
That not watching the anime hurt you a little bit.
I need to catch up. Well, that was awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you'll definitely be on the next one. Any parting words?
I need to catch up on the anime.
Yeah, dude. What are you doing, man?
I know.
You'll get there, boss. You'll get there.
All right, thanks for joining us, Loken.
For sure. Later, y'all.
Later.
Bye.
Later, boss.
And then there were two. Let's do it. All right, so I've got 3 questions prepared, but we only need the third one if you guys split. So we'll lead off with Danny. Danny, how happy are you with Ochiko's big moment? Do you think it was a cool moment for her character, or do you find it insulting to Ochiko for that to be labeled as her big moment?
I feel as if it was a really good moment because her character is based around like who will help the heroes when they're in trouble. She basically stood up for Deku when Deku didn't really have the mindset to stick up for himself. So she was literally like thinking, like he was about to walk away, and she grabs his hand. She's like basically saying to him, "Everything will be fine." And then she thought to herself, "I'm going to deal with this." Goes up, has a go at all the civilians, even though it took about 2 chapters to get into the brain cells. Listen, this kid is literally fighting for your survival, fighting for your livelihoods. In my opinion, this entire last 2 chapters, it were all Uraraka. She was perfect, she did everything right. It didn't betray her character, it didn't do anything wrong towards her, and it didn't even insult her because she was just absolutely amazing, and that's what her character is. How can people protect the heroes? Because the heroes don't really get any protection. They just get completely criticised or they just get blamed for everything. But she stuck up for what it is to be a hero. She was a true hero today, like in the last couple of chapters, and she was amazing.
How do you feel about it, Rolly?
I disagree. Because her whole speech was in character for her is what makes it doesn't make it a cool moment. A cool moment, would be her, finally conquering something that has been, an issue for her. Like if she had a problem with, sticking up for her friends and being there for them, that would be a cool moment. But that was just Ochiko being Ochiko, being like, hey, he can stay here. And I don't like the fact that if this is her, amazing big moment, that this is what it's limited to. Just her being a good friend. She's been a good friend since we first saw her. So it's nothing special. It's nothing new. And yeah, that's my entire point on it. I did not care for it at all with that being her big moment. And it is a bit insulting that her cool moment is, the power of friendship and giving a good speech.
I'm going to say Rolly edges Danny out. Second question is very subjective. How much longer until the second holder's quirk is revealed? Best guess, Rolly.
My best guess would be at some point soon before the final main battle. I can't really entirely tell how, soon that particular one will happen, but I don't think it's going to happen within the next few, certainly. I just see it being as this whole, whenever he desperately needs it, here comes that quirk. That whole trope and cliche that, oftentimes goes down.
Gotcha. All right. What do you think, Danny?
I think it's down to the second user himself, because he's still not really backing Deku, in my opinion. He's basically saying, is this kid really trying to save his enemy when really should be focused on taking him down? He needs to come to terms with what Deku's trying to do as a person. That's when he will unlock the actual final quirk that he needs. Because he's so against Deku wanting to save Shigaraki that he's not going to give him his quirk yet. He's pushing Deku to the limits to see why he's wanting to do this and if he can do it. Because, in my opinion, Deku always wants to save people. He wants to save his enemy. He wants to save Shigaraki because he saw what was going on. But the second user's against it. He was just like, you have no idea what you're doing. You can't save this guy. What's the point? Just kill him.
So when is it that the second user is finally on board? Is that anytime soon? How long do you think it'll be?
Within my opinion, I still say that My Hero Academia's got another 200 chapters in itself. I think it'll be in like the next 50 to 100 chapters. Because I think it'll be just one of those things where like the second user will realise you can save a villain. Maybe he's going to save a villain in the next couple of chapters. And then the second user will be like, you can save a villain. Right, I'll give you my quirk because that is going to be essential to save Shigaraki. Kind of thing.
I'm going to say that Danny won that one. Rolly won the first one. Final question to determine it all. You got 60 seconds apiece. Hold on, let me wait till it gets to it good. Let me ask the question now. Will All for One still one for all at any point in the series? Let's start off with Rolly.
No, they will not. The reason I say that is because this whole thing is predicated on Deku's will, and will his will go be able to be stronger than crap, I forgot his name. Will be able to go against All for One's hatred, and I don't think that it is.
Okay.
I just lost all train of thought. But the whole series is, showing how strong he will become. How he always says, it always seems like he always talking in past tense when he says, "This is how I became the world's greatest hero." He's going to keep one for all for the entire time. It is shown that was why he got in the beginning, was because of his will and his want to help others, and that can beat out any level of hatred or any type of discourse that comes his way. Even now, with him being battered and bruised and falling apart, he is still holding on to his will to want to protect everybody else, and that will always beat out his level of hatred.
Gotcha. All right, Danny. 60 seconds. What you got?
I think he will lose one for all, but only for a brief moment, maybe for like 2 chapters, because it's essential that you got to remember Shigaraki his hatred is going to be stronger for one simple fact: All Might is not in the Vestige world yet. There's 7 users. The 8th one might make it essential that he don't get it stolen. If All Might's in there, he don't lose the quirk. If All Might isn't in there, no chance. He's losing that quirk straight away. And maybe that's the one simple fact that happens. He loses the quirk, Yuichi somehow takes control of Shigaraki's body, or All for One's, depending on who's in charge. He takes over, gets the quirk back to Deku, and says, "Deku, here's the quirk back. You've got everything ready." Maybe All Might dies, but without All Might in the Vestige world, there's only 7 wills. And he can overcome every single one of them wills, because for the simple fact is, them wills are being beaten by All for One. Deku hasn't yet, but you need All Might to be in there, probably killed by Shigaraki because All Might hasn't been beaten by All for One. That's the one way that Deku can keep One for All is by All Might dying. I don't want him to die, but that's the only way he can keep it. By getting All Might in there to stop All for One.
Might
I
be a
do
good
have
question
a bit
for.
of a rebuttal, though.
Go ahead.
With the way that One for All is meant to work, you have to have it has to be willingly given to you. So if he gets it snatched away, there's no way that he can just get it back once Shigaraki is defeated.
But we're also forgetting that All for One has the ability to steal a quirk anyway, and it might be just that One for All can be stolen if All Might is stronger on hatred.
But One for All isn't a standard quirk like being able to float or,
Exactly.
shooting beams out of your eyes. It is a completely different entity. If it was a normal quirk, Monoma would have been able to easily copy it. It's this emptiness, it's this void that's going on, and it has several layers to it. So if he was to ever lose it, it's not like he can just get it back. The rules of it doesn't work that way.
I still think it's possible though, because if you remember, Nine's. I won't say the movie is canon, but it's possible that it can be stolen because Nine tried to steal it, but because it was more than one quirk, he couldn't steal it. But All for One might be able to steal it for the simple fact is if he's stronger than the other users inside of it and stronger than Deku, it might be able to steal it but if All Might's in there that's dealt with him, he's nearly killed him, he's nearly stopped him before, it might be able to it'll be All Might that stops All for One from taking the quirk. If All Might's not in that vestige world, he's not going to be able to stop All for One from stealing that quirk.
I'm going to trust in Deku's will to protect people not being overpowered by Tamura's hatred, and also trust that Horikoshi isn't going to do the same thing twice, because we kind of already saw that. You brought up 9. That's already been, I don't know. Are we going to keep doing the same thing? I feel like the movie would not have shown that if that was going to be one of the grand finale type of things in the series. I do think that Deku will hang on to it, so.
Woo!
Rolly,
Yeah.
60 seconds to basically talk about anything you would like to talk about on My Hero on Texas Smash.
I want to talk about Dinky for a second. I think I said his name right. Electro Boy. So
Okay.
as I was going back through and I was rewatching, well, not rewatching, but I was catching up on the anime episodes, and how they were a bit out of order. And so I noticed that whenever Mount Lady had came to try to give Class 1A lessons on how to talk with the media, and they were doing the intros, he put up a hand signal. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's a little weird. I was like, okay, whatever. And then it kept going, and then it showed when it came to the Liberation Army, that's their hand signal.
I
That's
mean
that
the Liberation Army's thing.
Yeah, like where did he get that from? Like, why would you do that symbol of all symbols? Does that mean anything? Now I have to go through this whole conspiracy theorist thing because that's weird. And can no one tell me that's weird? And he's already had eyes on him from the beginning of possibly being the traitor.
Yeah, so remember I used to, before Nezu, the only person I ever suspected was Kaminari. And that was a big thing behind it, was that L symbol. For me, honestly, up until the war arc, I still sort of suspected Cam up until one of my big arguments with him is he never got his hands dirty. And when Compressed hit him with that big ass rock, the same type of thing that killed Midnight, Kaminari got hit the same way. It took that for me to let him off the hook. Because I was like, they're not going to try to kill their traitor, and that's basically what killed Midnight. He got hit almost the same exact way.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that, that hand signal thing was just weird. It was really weird.
If you talking trader on Texas Smash, you know he starts with the N and ends with the ooh. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video. If you're still listening, then you, my friend, are plus ultra. Check out our Discord server and join the Texas Smash community, link in the description below. If you are already looking forward to the next episode of Around the Academia, we will return next month with a whole new slate of questions and potentially some new panelists as well. We'll see y'all then.